Hi everyone, welcome to our session about upskilling your career with generative AI and Google Cloud training. I'm Emma Freeman. I'm a learning portfolio manager, which is a lot like a product manager for our learning content, and I'm focused specifically on all of our learning content about AI, machine learning, and data analytics, including generative AI. And after I talk, we will bring up my co-presenters and I'll allow them to introduce themselves as well. We're also going to have time for a Q&A at the end. There is a microphone in the aisle there, so if you'd like to ask questions at the Q&A at the end, please go ahead and line up when we get to that section, and we'd be happy to take your questions. So I am just very grateful to you all for being here today. Excited to talk about this Gen AI thing that has been, in the news a little bit lately. And then I'll also be sharing with you today about kind of current industry trends around Gen AI related to skills and careers and ways that you can kind of plug yourself into what's happening in the world and think about that with regards to your current job or your future job and your career. So everybody's been asking, what does Gen AI mean for job roles? What does it mean for my job or for the job I might be doing in a year or jobs in general? There's a lot of talk about, are the robots going to steal our jobs? Is everything going to be completely automated? What does it mean for a lot of the more technical roles that are starting to have a lot more generative AI technologies and tools integrated into our workflows? And there's a lot of interest in what kind of skills that people need to be able to adapt to this kind of new reality where Gen AI is becoming integrated into everybody's workflow. But no matter what, there's no doubt that Gen AI is transforming every industry, every job. It is really a paradigm shift. And I'll pause for a moment to let you read this quote on the slide. The majority of developers today believe that their workflow will be different in a year because of AI tools, according to a Stack Overflow survey. And another survey done by Goldman Sachs found that 300 million jobs around the world stand to be impacted by AI and automation. We're looking at significant disruption potentially on the horizon for the labor market. And a lot of studies are also showing that up to 2/3 of jobs will probably be automated, at least to some degree, with Gen AI tools. But as we've seen in the past, technological innovation doesn't just eliminate jobs, although, of course, there's always the potential for certain kinds of jobs to phase out and shift. But another big change is that it creates new jobs and starts incorporating new kinds of skills. And in fact, most people are actually looking to Gen AI to help alleviate their workloads and make them more productive, make the kind of some of the more drudgery type tasks of their jobs be more fully automated. Up to 70% of people are looking to delegate as much work as they can to AI. And business leaders as well are more likely to say that the value they see in AI is in increasing productivity rather than reducing headcount. So that's good news for all of us. And just out of curiosity, can I have a show of hands of who here works in what you would consider a technical role? Cool, looks like majority of us. And of all of you, how many of you are already seeing Gen AI being incorporated and part of your workflow? Yeah, so when we talk about the future with Gen AI, it's obviously already happening, and everybody's experiencing a need for adapting and shifting what kinds of skills are relevant, but there's a lot of questions around what skills exactly are relevant and important. So here's some ideas about some of the top skills working with Gen AI. And you'll notice that these are not the technical skills of how to use the tools. These are more focused on maybe what you would call soft skills or transferable skills. And this is what I kind of want to drill into, because this is where a lot of opportunity lies to make yourself stand out in the workforce and to really think, all of us, especially all of you who just raised your hands, will be developing, if you haven't already developed, those more technical skills working with the Gen AI tools. But these kinds of skills will always be necessary and important. So moral, executive type skills, including transparency, fairness, empathy, responsibility, all of these ethical practices around avoiding bias with implementing AI. Creativity, adaptability, and problem solving. These are skills that will be increasingly in demand as Gen AI adoption grows. And then data literacy and vigilance is also increasingly important and critical for the success of AI, including the ability to common sense and fact check the outputs that AI gives us. So we see that a lot of employers are prioritizing these kinds of skills, like creativity and problem solving, alongside the technical skills for roles in software development, data science, infrastructure, any role that really works with AI tools. And we're seeing that the technical roles themselves are evolving as AI becomes more integrated into everybody's workflows across the board. I kind of think of this as people who are using the output of the AI tools versus people who are building those tools or setting them up or setting up the infrastructure, the security layers, all of that around the AI tools. And this is just my opinion of kind of a way to group these types of roles. Of course, there's a lot of different ways to slice and dice it, but there's roles that involve setting up the systems. Obviously, we can't implement AI tools without having really robust data architecture, data security, all of the data engineering work that needs to go into that. So even though some of these roles may not be as top of mind when it comes to what are the top new roles related to working with Gen AI, these roles are still crucial for the ability to implement and deploy AI solutions. So, data architect or security engineer, all of those. And then we have the ML practitioners, and these are the roles that I think are more directly impacted by developing and building AI-related tools. Research engineer or research scientist, data scientist, ML engineer, they may be working with out-of-the-box models, also doing some tuning, training their own versions, and deploying AI models into their workflow. And then there's kind of broad category, and of course, I do want to caveat this with there's overlap between these. This is not a rigid boundary, but Gen AI end users, so people who are maybe more interacting with the APIs to call the pre-trained models, like an app developer, or data analysts, customer support agents, people who are more using the pre-built models out of the box. And there's also talk about a role called prompt engineer. And I'm using this as just an example of roles that are new terms for things that maybe didn't exist until fairly recently. And I've heard a lot of buzz using this term, prompt engineer, and have had a lot of conversations with people asking them, what do you think about this? Is this a real job? Is it a job for right now? Is it a job for the future? I think there will continue to be more job titles like that. AI engineer is another one that I'm starting to see a lot, where it's somebody who can work with the tools as they're built now. So a prompt engineer would be somebody who's very familiar with how to prompt an AI to get the output that you're looking for, an output that's useful. But I think that we're going to see that these types of roles that kind of pop up in reaction to the evolving landscape may eventually settle out and trickle into all other job roles. So I think in the near future, everybody's going to be a prompt engineer. You know, from a business executive to more technical people, we're all going to need to know how do you interact with Bard or other Gen AI models to get the best outputs. So it may be tempting to rush out and get a degree or whatever people are getting with a prompt engineer title. But I think it's good to kind of think longer term about what are the core skills that are going to be needed. And no matter where you were at in that spectrum of no code to high code, slightly technical, technical adjacent to highly technical, there's lots of ways to interact with Gen AI tools. And on Google Cloud, we have out-of-the-box solutions with Gen AI. So these are tools that you don't actually need to know how to code. So if you're thinking that, gosh, this Gen AI thing is big, I need to go out and learn to code, not necessarily true. Whether you're coding or not, you're still interacting with those tools in different ways. There's application developers or other folks who are working to customize some of the tools that are already out there and interact with them, and that can be some code or a lot of coding. And then there's AI ML practitioners who have more advanced skills working with ML and AI, who are customizing the models and doing all that. So as you can see, there's a spectrum of what the skills look like and how much coding you really need to learn. Okay, so with that, I will hand it off to Kelly, who will talk about how to start thinking about getting these skills.
Thanks, Emma. Okay, great. Thank you. Hi there. Oh, good, you can hear me. Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Kelly Thompson, and I probably did a faux pas, but I did put my email on there, so I do want feedback, but I'll tell you a little bit why in the next slide. So as Emma just mentioned, we're all becoming programmers. So I've met a couple of you in the last couple days. I'm looking forward to meeting more of you as the year goes on. My name is Kelly Thompson, and I head up the curriculum development program for AI, ML, and data engineering. So work really closely with Emma when you meet Gwendolyn. She's also a peer of mine. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about today was, when I started my career, I was a teacher and an elementary school teacher. And in 2000, I heard this big hype about the internet. So I started my career in a database, SQL, Oracle, and in a server room for many years. Realized that I like people, so I got out of there. But I programmed, and it took me about 6 years to be considered an IT professional. Well, today, it takes less than 2 years. So what does that mean? Well, what that means for us, for Google, is that we've actually revamped our education program, and we'll continue to do that. We've got to be able to help upscale as soon as possible. So what I wanted to say in this slide specifically is that we're all programmers today. As Emma just shared, depending on if you want to do some deep dive into AI or if you want to have a little bit more. So one of the things I'm going to show you today is a little bit of what we can do at Google Cloud. So one of the 3 things that we've really changed this year, yes, and I've included all the URLs. I heard that you will get some of these slides, but I have included my email and I've included another email. This is really important. You know, one of the things I think if you walk away today is if you can remember that we do have platforms to support you and for all different people as they're learning their journey. So one of the key things that we've launched a lot more this year is really videos. We've interviewed subject matter experts, product owners. You might even see a few folks as you're going through the conference who we've grabbed and said, hey, can you give us a video? We've extended our YouTube channel for free videos for all. We've also extended our platform, which is called Skills Boost. Used to be called Quick Labs for some of our folks that have been with us for a while. And we continue to extend our platform there. One of the things that we've spent a lot of time this year, if you've seen, and if you haven't seen it yet, go downstairs into the training and certification. We've got a lot of badges and certification, just things for us as individuals and also for managers to look at to extend the team's knowledge. So take a look at that. And then what we introduced this year, which you may or may not have heard of, it's called Arcade. So it's more of an arcade style game. Anyone can join. You can also, as you earn, you can earn credits for swag, you can earn credits for donation, but it's a lot of fun. So it gets folks, and it's really more technical. We're spending across, it's not only just Gen AI, but we're learning all different pieces of our product. So definitely check these three things out, these three areas. So what I wanted to show you a little bit here, so as you're all going through your Gen AI journey, we are too, from a curriculum development perspective. And what I wanted to share with this slide with all of you was, if you remember, back at the beginning of this year, there was a big announcement on Gen AI and Google and some other companies that you may have heard of. And basically, they asked us from a curriculum development perspective, we need to get content out as soon as possible. So the great thing is here is that we actually started using Gen AI to accelerate our programs. So what you can see in this is that within a couple weeks, we were able to actually launch 9 microlearning courses with 67 assets. We use Bard. We also use humans, as you can see the percentage, and the other percentage, which is about 24%, if I'm doing it right, 26%, was really some automation in our products. And so what our goal is over the next year is that you're gonna see, we're gonna go much faster. We're gonna start using the Gen AI technologies, and we're gonna start sharing that as well so that we can show you what we're doing. The other thing here, you see that we have 9 mini micro courses, but the total time was 2.5 hours. If you've seen some of our courses from the past, they take a little bit longer than 2.5 hours. So we're also trying to target specifically on your needs, your team's needs as well. This also plays into certification. So of course, there's some more details around deeper knowledge for certification. But one of the things that we're looking at in particular is that we're looking at ways to, I can show this, let me do this. So I don't know if you can see this, but this is the topic over on Google search. So, end of last year, 2002, the word generative AI, really low, then come May, and it's shot up. So one of the things that we're looking at are terms that you're all searching for around the globe, and we're making sure from an education perspective that we're including that in our training. So we're watching that as well. Understanding, because like Emma just showed, and Gwendolyn talked more about it, terms are coming, prompt, these new titles, these new roles. So we want to make sure that we're able to educate you on those terms and what that means. My next slide. One of the things that I will talk to you a little bit about this in a second is from a perspective of my team, and I think everybody in the training certification, we really want the feedback from all of you. We're looking to surveys that you complete at the end of training sessions. We're looking at emails. We're looking at your comments on YouTube. And what we've been doing is we've been actually taking that feedback and making pretty rapid changes in our content curriculum, as well as in our Skills Boost platform. So please continue that. What I'm showing you here, these are the top 3 about a month ago. And we looked at the feedback, the good feedback. Also the feedback was like, we want more labs. We want more interactive. So the exciting news is that we're currently piloting with some other customers, and love to get your contributions as well if you're interested, to look at ways that we can build shorter videos and shorter hands-on labs and using our generative AI technology. To give you an example, one thing we're doing is looking at ways of skill sets so that we can actually assess what are the skill sets you or your team members need. As we know, we always hope our leaders and managers will help us upscale, but it comes to us as individuals a lot. So we understand that. So we're really trying to personalize your learning journey. And by doing this, the things that we're learning internally, we're also going to be able to share out to the rest of you too. So when you can go into Skills Boost in the future, you'll be able to say, I want to become in this new role, maybe like Emma mentioned. Go in there and say, what are the courses I should take? What's the certification path? So really excited that we're actually going to start using our own technology and sharing out to all of you as well. So just to raise a hand, how many are aware of these videos or courses? Has anyone seen them? Okay, great. All right, good. Yeah, take a look at them. They're on YouTube. Like I said, you can use it on your phone or you can log into Skills Boost. Love to look at your feedback. You'll recognize a couple people in my next presenter as well in some of those. So, and we work really closely with all the different teams within Google. So, one thing that I'd really like for you to take away today from my section is where can you find us? So I'd really suggest logging in, getting an account with Skills Boost, our videos. We're offering some free skill badges today. I don't know how long they're gonna last, but I'll find that out for you. But you can go in today, get some Skills Boost badges. You can also, if you don't wanna log into Skills Boost, you can follow us on the Google YouTube channel. And not only are we using these platforms, these are our main platforms, we are partnering with Coursera, LinkedIn Learning, and Pluralsight. So you'll still see us there as well. So on that one, I'm gonna pass it on. And I did have laugh, wait till Gwendolyn comes up. We did not plan our outfits. But we are wearing all blue blazers. So that was not part of it. We might have to get a photo later. So thanks, Gwendolyn, come on up.
Well, the only anomaly actually is that Emma is wearing Freeman pink sandal heels. Okay. So my name is Gwendolyn Stripling, and I am the technical curriculum developer here at Google Cloud. And I want to begin by saying that we are at an inflection point in so many ways. Our careers, point taken. Our careers, our technologies, the world is changing around us. And we are blessed enough to be in this room at this moment in time, at the apex of this inflection point. So how can we here at Google Cloud Learning Services help you? If you want to design prompts, you've heard about prompt engineering or prompt design, you don't have any coding experience, no worries. You can use GenAI Studio to help you design prompts. If you have a little coding, a little Python, a little R, maybe some SQL, and you want to go beyond that no-code solution using GenAI Studio, you can also move in the direction of using our Vertex API within our GenAI Studio. You go to the GUI or you can go to the API. When you go to the API, we also offer notebooks. Who's heard of Jupyter Notebooks? Thank you. I gave a class yesterday on Intro to GenAI, and I had given it 2 days in a row. And I didn't ask this question the first day, but I decided to ask it yesterday. And when I asked, who's heard of a Jupyter Notebook, out of 70 people, about 3 people raised their hands. And then I got really excited and also really aware. There is so much to share. There's so much to share. So when I'm talking about a Jupyter Notebook, we at Google offer Google Colab, free, browser-based Jupyter Notebook. You don't need any coding skills to use it. Inside of Vertex AI, we have Workbench, which allows you with a little bit of coding knowledge to use Python Jupyter Notebooks inside of Vertex AI. And I believe as of last week, we have Enterprise Colab inside of Vertex AI. Yeah, it's exciting. And if you do have some coding experience and you want to move from low code in your learning journey to some coding to sort of, I live in the code world, we can help you there as well. We can show you how to use Cody, which is our code generation LLM, to write code, to debug code, to actually tell you what it's doing line by line, and to help you write code source docs. Yeah, that's really exciting. And you can also build apps using our new search and conversation. This name was just changed. This is our Gen app builder, if you've heard of that, as of a few days ago. So it's called Search and Conversation. And finally, if you already have an AI ML background, you're a data scientist, you work in the industry, then you can start to develop and deploy on Vertex AI immediately. You can customize and deploy foundation models, from fine-tuning them to fine-tuning task-specific models, which I'll talk about in a moment. So all that is to say, our course content meets you where you are on your learning journey. So Kelly and Emma have talked about our content and what we're providing. I'm just reinforcing that here. We have 9 free courses on YouTube, as Kelly spoke of. The Intro to Gen AI course that we released in May, on May 10th of this year, within 3 hours, it had 7,000 views. As of this morning, within the last 3 months, it has 798,000 views. Rest assured, I was praying that for those 2 more thousand people to get me over the 800,000 mark. So hint, hint, if you haven't seen it, thank you. But what does that mean? You know, when we were building this course, we saw a gap. You know, in November, everything changed in terms of people's ability to understand what Gen AI was, and there were all these questions. And so we saw a gap, and we thought that if we just looked at the basics, again, meeting people where they are, that we could help people understand the basics of Gen AI. And I think the fact that we're almost at 800,000 views in less than 3 months, helps us realize that we achieved that goal. We also have hands-on labs, and we also have credentials. So our labs, we add a bit of theory where needed. Excuse me. And this is my 3rd speaking engagement this week, so I apologize for my voice. I used to be a professional trainer, and my voice could deal with 5 days a week, 8 to 5. But apparently, I'm a little rusty. So we do have hands-on labs and credentials. And so our labs add a bit of theory where needed, and visuals to enhance the learning process or experience. So what I love about our labs is that we guide you through a workflow. And I've been here at Google 4 years, and when I started, I looked at our labs and I thought, oh great, there's work for me to do. I can help improve these labs and improve a learner's journey. And my other colleagues as well were like, let's just make it easier for people to walk through our labs. And this philosophy has improved our CSAT scores, and it has increased the number of learners in these last 4 years for CLS. And we will continue to do that as we develop our microlearning courses and other courses as well. For example, in one of our new labs, the Explore, Evaluate, Model Garden, we show you 3 categories of models: foundation, fine-tunable, and task-specific. And then in that lab, after we've given you a bit of theory and context, we then show you how to build an object detection model using vision transformers, I'm losing my, can someone help me here? Open work OWL? Okay, we'll go with OWL. Okay. Lots of acronyms in our open world. Thank you. To myself, because no one helped me. Thank you very much. Open Vision Transformer Open World Localization for Object Detection. And so with that, you go into this notebook, right? You go through the workflow, this little bit of the theory, and then you see this great code. When I started out in this profession, what I would not have given for someone to give me the keys to the kingdom, right? We do that. So if you even have a little of a coding background or a little interest in coding, this lab can help you because it shows you how to upload a pre-trained model to model registry in Vertex AI, how to deploy the model to an endpoint, and how to run the model for online predictions. This lab, prompt design using Palm, we basically take you through question answering, experimenting with different parameter values, and also exploring summarization with models on Vertex AI. So those are just 2 of our new labs. We will be creating more labs and making them available to you. So what's next? My apologies, I'm just catching up with my slides here. So we have 2 learning paths. We have a new course, Introduction to Generative AI, and it's free. As you know, it's been out for a while. We have a course for developers. We have 2 learning paths, developers and the Gen AI. And we have the 2 courses, Introduction to AI and ML on Google Cloud, and also Responsible AI, Applying Principles with Google Cloud. And I've also just walked you through our 2 labs that we have available. We're also open to lab ideas and feedback as well. Excuse me. Thank you very much for your time today. It's so great to see you all here.